What up, world? Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. You already know what it is. Welcome to Waxvillain Fireside Chat. We got greatness in the building. Pulling up all the way from the Penrose record room, we got Anthony Masino and DJ Scaife. We're going to talk about the new 45 on Penrose Records. Keep it locked. We'll kick things off real soon. F-Spot Records in the building. We see it. My brother Chris Lou in the building. Tonight's special, y'all. Yeah, that's the colored Olympians, too. That's the real rare one. That's that Galaxy variant. Ooh, classic black. I feel you. I feel you. It had to grow on me a bit. All my 45s, my OGs are black. I feel you. Fellas should be here soon. Happy to be back on the live stream. A little hiatus for a little while, take a break, spend time with the family, do some holiday stuff. I got a lot. I got a lot. Gonna try to find some new stuff. It's all over the place. If I turn the camera around, you'd be shocked. I'm gonna send a request real quick. Let's see here. Invite set. Keep it locked. Gonna lift the needle. DJ Scaife in the building. Send the request, brother. Masino's on the way. Shout out to everybody online. Uh-oh. I see DJ sending a request. Inviting. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it says he's unable to join. It's a problem. This is a problem. Anthony's unable to join too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know what we're gonna do. We never had a situation like this before. Masino's in the building. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about because it said it worked here.
We're rocking and rolling.
What?
The audio is good. The video is good. You look great.
Thank you, man. You too.
I appreciate you, brother.
Well, we appreciate you, my friend. Let me set this up. Oh, so you have to listen to me. Oh, look at that.
Love it. I love it. Everybody's in the building. Anthony just made it through security.
Yeah, by a hair.
Amazing.
Well, it's awesome to have you fellas here. So, Anthony, are you at the record room right now? Wow. And DJ, you're in New York, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. I'm originally from upstate. What's the weather like where you're at today?
Cold.
Sounds like Seattle.
I don't know if it's well, yes, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So.
Okay. I'm originally from upstate, so I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, because, yeah, it's brick over here.
I see we got 18 on the line. If y'all are ready, I'll go ahead and kick things off.
Ready?
What's up,
Love
Anthony?
it. I want to welcome everybody to Waxvillain Fireside Chat. Fireside chats are similar to interviews. However, we take the time to do research. We want to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts out there. More importantly, we want to support and strengthen anything that exists. We got a grip of questions. I'm super excited tonight, y'all. The two gentlemen that you see in the tiles below released a 45 on Penrose Records a couple weeks ago. But I want to take things back a little bit, okay? This is really special right now, okay? The brother on the right, Mr. Anthony Masino, I learned about him before the Penrose record. You see, my friends at High Tide Records, New Tone Recordings, they told me about this group called The Charities. I said, The Charities? I said, what do you got? They sent me a song and it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. It's a fantastic track. You got to make sure that you look for it. But when you think about his work between Daptone and Penrose Records, Johnny Ruiz and the Escapers, you see the Penrose record back there, the compilation, Sacred Souls, all Anthony Masino, including the 45 with Jensine Benitez. But the brother in the other tile moved me as well. When I heard his 45 for the first time on the turntable, I said, he's got an old soul. But I was curious. I needed to know the roots. There was something very authentic about the sound. So as I did my homework, I saw a lot of things. And what it said was by 2, he was singing. I want to say by 4, he was playing the piano and organ, and by 10, he's playing the drums. Then he followed up with a degree from Berkeley. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Anthony Masino and DJ Scaife. Super happy to have y'all here tonight.
Love to be here.
So,
Wait, I can't hear Anthony.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. Now I just heard it. All right, I was about to say I need to hear him. Shit. Okay. All right, I'm good.
I think your phone is flat, maybe covering the speaker a little bit.
No. Oh, him.
DJ, you good? I've done
How's
300 of these. I know the ins and outs.
I got you. I think that should be better.
You sound much better, brother.
All right, cool.
So listen, I want to take things back a little bit. You know, we learned about you, both of you, for the first time, really, with the release on Penrose. Tell us how this whole thing started, but give us a lens into who you are, where you're from, and your why for making music.
All right, well, I'll go first. I'm originally from Hermosa Beach, California,
Hermosa, okay.
which is a little like suburb of LA. And my why for making music is kind of hard to explain, man. I just kind of fell into it, man. I always loved music, and then I just learned the guitar. And I met some kids in middle school who also played, and we just started writing songs together, and there's really like nothing else like it. So
Love that. How about you, DJ?
Oh, wow. I mean, I've been playing and doing music since before I was born.
Yeah.
Whatever past life that I lived before, that's what moment to moment is about. Moment to moment. It's just always, continuously, forever. But really, my mother, she was a choir director and pianist at my church. My dad was a minister. And so everybody in my family is super musical. My mother was really the biggest one, and she was playing for all these churches and at church. So when I was in the womb and as a baby, I was right there all up in it.
Yeah.
So that's my background. It is who I am. It's what I always will be doing, what I love doing, what gives me solace, also gives me heartache. It gives me so much joy. No, it doesn't give me heartache. The industry and things around it does, but the actual gift, the art, never gives me heartache.
I love it.
So yeah, that's my foundation.
Okay.
Music.
Okay. Now, when it comes to this bad boy right here, this 7-inch, it's your debut 45 on Penrose Records. Tell us how the pair of songs came together.
Anthony, you want to go? You what?
Sure, man. Yeah. So, man, like, pretty much me and DJ, we met through a mutual friend who knew I was looking for like just really good singers to start making some soul stuff. And she knew I worked for Daptone, and she had been, saying, you got to meet my friend DJ. And this was still when I lived in New York, but I think DJ was in like Copenhagen or something. He was somewhere else, and we actually never really got the chance to meet. And I moved back back to California to work with Gabe Roth. And but there was a point where I was going back and forth between New York and California kind of like once a month.
Okay.
And finally, like, I just met up with DJ. I think I saw him play somewhere uptown in Manhattan, and in between his sets, we sat at the bar for a sec and just talked. And we just met up every time I was in New York at like a park or at an apartment, and just started writing. And then he found himself out here once, and we like scrambled together a session for the A-side. Must have been like, you know, within 2 days the song was written and recorded. And then he left, and I kind of just shopped it around to the people at Daptone, and they were down. They were really into it, and you know, they got him a plane ticket back, and me and DJ, we actually just like holed up in the studio for a couple of days and just kept writing songs until we had a B-side, and that's how Moment to Moment came.
Okay.
And it's blurry. That song just came out of nowhere. Like I can't even remember honestly how it came. But all right, good. And then you could take it from here.
This is why I love him. This is why the duos work. Because I remember that he gave the most wonderful abridged version of that story. Because the story of meeting him, to me, I know in his heart is big for him. And you know, in his mind it's big for him. But it's huge for me because he's like a person that I've, it's like destiny. This kind of person definitely is destiny for me. Meeting him, his whole vibe, like, I always had this thing of, you know, nobody tell me what to do and all this kind of shit that doesn't really help you all the time, but it does help you stay authentic and stuff. But he never ever questioned that or made me think that I wasn't supported or listened or heard. It's actually my best friend. Her name's Miriam El Hajli, and she's a wonderful singer-songwriter. She introduced us, and yeah, she introduced us, and she just kept saying, "You gotta meet Anthony. You gotta meet him. You gotta meet Tony. You gotta meet Tony. You gotta meet him." We met up in the park. Maria Hernandez, I think, in Brooklyn, and he was just sitting there with his guitar. You know, we had a few smokes, a little beers, just sitting there, and we came up with like the first time it was like 1 or 2 little ditties, but the next time we met again, I think we came up with like maybe 10 or 12 things, and he had a collection of all these songs, and we just kept vibing off each other. Then I cooked for him and his friends, and we just, it was more than, so it wasn't, you know, or something I want to say that was important was that I believe these songs really came together because of our genuine human connection we have. And we weren't just like, let's get a hit, this shit's hot, try this, dip in this, dip in that. We, like, it just gelled together. And that, when my heart beats, we actually started on the bench that day. And we were almost finished writing something. He was like, no, I got this melody. I was like, okay, sure. And I kept singing, but I kept changing it to what I wanted it to be. But anyway, you know, yes. And then he said, fast forward to being in the studio that week. We were out in LA. And Moment to Moment, how that came about, actually before, I wanted to write this was a little more curated, but this is how I guess it's how it has to be. I wanted to write, or we were saying we needed for the B-side, we needed a piece that was maybe kind of, you know, ballad type vibe. You know,
yeah, okay.
Doo-wop kind of souls ballad. So I'm getting into it. And I come up with something, but it was just a little bit, I don't know, it just wasn't, it's not that it wasn't good or bad, it just wasn't the one. So then there was a list of songs that we had compiled. They were all in these titles Anthony had for a while. And so we were going down the list and we just stopped, and it was that Moment to Moment. And that title, you know, sometimes the song comes before the title. This time the title came before the song. Once I had the title, oh shit, that's what it was. Yeah.
Wow. So what did you cook for him that night? That's what I wanted to really ask you.
What did I make that time? Because I cooked quite. Yeah.
It was like, all I remember was there was fried chicken, which was amazing. It was some of the best fried chicken I probably ever had. And a whole bunch of vegetables. I mean, I don't even know, but it was amazing. And everybody that he cooked for that night still talks about that meal, actually. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do. I am also a chef. My grandparents had restaurants. So.
Yeah, DJ is an amazing cook. No joke.
Okay. I knew I had to ask the question. There was something that had me hooked on it.
Yeah, actually, when we were recording the songs with the whole band, there was a break, and DJ
Yeah.
made food for everybody
I,
too, and everybody still talks about that meal too.
Kate
So
was like, "What the fuck, man?" I
yeah,
said, "Not at all."
That's wild. That's wild. Now, I want to dial back a bit, okay? Because in previous chapters of life, Anthony, I believe it was J Stop Records, you have like 10 plus projects. DJ, you have a group DJ and the Yams, you're performing around town. Can y'all give us a lens into what you were doing before the Penrose thing happened, just to kind of see things?
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I moved to Brooklyn in I think about like 2017,
Okay.
and the J Stop studio was just it was just like a basement studio that me and my friends had, and that's actually really where I started to first start to engineer like
Okay.
records. It was super minimal setup. It was just like a 4-track tape machine and a couple microphones and drums and guitar. But you know, I just started, and the learning curve happened then. And during that whole time, I actually was interning. I started interning for Daptone like a year into myself, like living in New York,
Okay.
and was just like practicing at that J Stop studio, and I met all sorts of people who came through Daptone, like the house in Brooklyn, and I just picked up all these little things and pieces from people who would either be making music there or telling me stories, and I just kept going back to that basement and just kept going.
You were like ping pong. And you're teaching yourself on the side, you're networking over here and kind of building
Yeah,
that side. That's fantastic.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my! Listen, this
You're
man is an insane engineer, but we'll get back to that later. Um, Damn, what was the question you asked? Oh, before Penrose. Oh, so yeah, my band, DJ and the Yams, we're a multi-genre band. Soul is what I say, but I don't, with that, I don't like to stick with the genres because I don't believe that they truly define us. They really never really have, but they don't truly define what the essence of our music is, our performance. But we're a quartet based here in New York City. We've done all over the East Coast, and here in New York, and we're regulars at Ashford and Simpson's bar, Valerie Simpson's place, Sugar Bar.
Okay.
It's like it's our home. It's where our sound has been cultivated and everything. And yeah, we have one album that came out in 2022, Let's Ride. But I've lived so many lives. I've taught African American music history and culture in China, in India, in Colombia, in France, Mexico, Canada. Taught here in New York at the Harlem School of the Arts. I've served as a accompanist for various artists and sang background for various artists. Of course, one who's my mentor, the great Valerie Simpson. Ben Vereen, Yolanda Adams, Mariah Carey. So I've done a lot of things. I want to keep doing them. But this new endeavor with Junior Scaife and Daptone, Penrose really. This new endeavor is kind of like it's allowing me to hone in and focus in on a specific lane, something I haven't done before. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to take something away from me. I was actually talking to Anthony about this a while ago, but it's allowing me to to focus in, hone in. It's like a bullseye or an arrow, So I'm excited about this new endeavor. I feel like it's a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
Now, what did the band think when you kind of broke the news? Hey, I'm going to do this thing.
Oh well, they were like, shit, you could have done this with us. What's going on? Honestly. But they have a point. But at the time, how do I put this? And I got some peas on the stove, so if I get up, I'm just making sure they don't burn. But I guess the thing is like, you have a band when everyone's kind of, putting in, doing everything together. And then if you are in a situation where the onus is on one person, then that's your decision making is a bit different. So at that time, our decision making wasn't really with everyone. So there was no real animosity with that. They joked with me, but there was no It was fine. It worked out. But we've come to some decisions about how we'll make it work as far as us performing, as far as kind of like how the vision of what Junior Scaife is doing versus what DJ and the Yams are doing. Those are, they may be separate things. They may be on different bills. They may be on the same bill. I don't know, but they may be on different bills, doing different things, working with different audiences. But we'll always play together, regardless of what the name is. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, let's talk about, I always ask all the artists on Penrose when they come through, give us a lens into what it's like working with Gabe. Would y'all be willing to kind of share what that recording experience was like? Any sort of gems of wisdom that you've gleaned? There's definitely a sound, and he knows exactly what he's looking for. And the artists always talk about how, regardless of the duration of time, he's always able to bring the greatness out of them to deliver really an intentional and meaningful track. So what's your story on that?
Anthony, can I go before you?
Sure. Please.
Because Anthony invited me to him, and I've been fanboying out on him for a long time. And Anthony brought me to him, so that was grateful. But I was so ready to work with him, but Anthony kind of told me, he was like, well, man, he thinks you're amazing too. All I'm going to say is, up there with Jamerson and Chuck Rainey on bass lines, as far as like being able to sit in the groove. And everyone says, everyone has all these, oh, that's a Jamerson line, that's a Chuck Rainey line, that's all these people line, all these different lines. His groove, his conception of groove, and like a bass line as a journey. Impeccable. I'm blessed, so blessed to have him come play on it and even change it a little bit and not be like, hey, I did this, So just brilliant. It's a blessing. He's a brilliant. That's all I'm going to say, because that's all I got. And it was pure music and soul between he and I. So that's all I know. He knows much more. Love you, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, I owe a lot to Gabe. I work with him very, very closely. I obviously engineer for him on his productions. He, man, he's taught me so much. I really don't even know where to begin. But beyond all the technical stuff, like he taught me a lot about, gain structure and all that. But that's not really like the most important stuff. He definitely taught me how to be more confident as a producer and as an engineer. And in a weird way, he taught me how to not take like music too seriously. It's saying like he taught me how to kind of let go and actually have fun with it and not be so fixated on achieving something so perfect, because that actually ends up being what holds you back, and ever since like that kind of got instilled in me, my engineering got a lot better, which is funny because, not to say that I stopped caring as much, but I kind of was able to let things live and breathe. And, Gabe holds people to very high standards, and he sets the bar super high for everyone that he's involved with. And I don't know, he's just a really good challenge. And then that's the most I've gotten from Gabe.
Very cool. There was this article, I believe it was like in a magazine from Europe, maybe like 20 years ago. And a Seattle artist, Joel Ricci, Lucky Brown, had sent this to me. And Gabe was talking about deep funk. I don't know if you've ever seen this article.
Yeah, Shitty is Pretty.
But it's like I don't know, maybe like 5 or 7 step process.
Yeah.
But when you read it and you kind of understand the scene, where the music came from, you're like, wow, this is really deep. And it's too bad we can't like see more of that. But it was a really deep kind of insight into who he is, how he interprets, understands, and then of course is able to kind of transcend. Now, I have another question for you. And I have to ask this because you're one of a few people who have produced for Daptone as well as Penrose. How would you distinguish the sound between, or describe the sound between a Daptone record and a Penrose record? What makes them unique?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I mean, well, first off, Daptone is at this point in its life like much more expansive right? They have
Yeah.
Cuban records and they have world records and Afrobeat records. But you know, I think the thing about Daptone for me, there's a couple things that I think define the Daptone sound versus the Penrose sound.
Okay.
For lack of a better word, like Daptone is a little bit, at least in like the early years, it's much grittier, and you know, I think the horns that you find in Dap Kings and Budos and Menahan Street Band are very distinctive. It's like it's yeah, I don't know. It's for me, it's almost like a little bit more grittier and a little bit more, you know, also for lack of a better word, like not as mellow as like some of the Penrose stuff. I think that also comes from like a lot of the singers that were on Daptone at first were like much older, much experienced, and still had they were like the bridge from the 60s and the 70s. You know, you have like Lee Fields who was making records in the 60s, and you know, all sorts of people that Gabe worked with at first, Naomi Sheldon, like all these people who really understood this music too. And I think Penrose is a much younger scene of people who are, you know, still finding their way. And to me, that kind of makes like the difference between them.
Okay. No, that's super helpful.
But that's just me, man. That's a hard question. It's a good question.
Yeah. Is there kind of a process that you have before you sit down in the studio? You mentioned confidence, and I was curious, man, what does confidence look like? Because too much confidence, you know, is something. So what is it? What's going through your head as you're sitting down, getting ready to record? Say, oh, okay, this is a Jalen record, right? Or okay, it's going to be a Penrose record. What's the frame of thought going into that?
Man, for me, it's the confidence comes from like trusting myself, you know, knowing that it's not necessarily going to be easy, but it's all possible. And the more you do it, the more you kind of get a grip on it. But for me, it's like trusting the process, you know. And I think to me, it's like mixing a record. To me, I like to use the analogy of like, you know, you're gonna like reorganize your room, and at first it's got to get it's gonna be really really messy, and in the middle of that, you're gonna look around and it's just gonna be stuff everywhere. But you know, you just got to start putting things where they belong, and then slowly it'll be cleaned up again. And I think that's like when you're in the middle of that real messy situation, knowing that that's what it is. You're just in the middle of it right now, and it's not done, and you just have to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's what it looks like to me.
Now, DJ, I want to kind of talk about your pen a little bit in the lyrics. What are you doing to kind of get in character, if you will, when you're writing these kinds of songs? What are you influenced by?
Life experiences, mine or people that are very close to me. Because, you know, I can't, you know, it's just about just what's here. You know, if, on a simple word, just all those emotions that come to me first, and then making a story of that. Very out of huge imagination as a child, and that's something that I've kept and I will not lose, work to lose it. I'm not losing that. And so that imagine paired with real life experience and being in touch with my emotions, all of them, the good, the bad, the cute, the ugly, whatever, you know, that's really how it is. Yeah. And that's how I'm inspired. And of course, all those people that came before me, of course, but the iambic pentameter and all that kind of thing, inspired by that too. But it's mostly what is inside, and it has to do who I'm writing with, those emotions that come up around whoever that person is or those people. That has to go into even how I perform or sing a song that I've written.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I often think about there's like a certain feeling, and you kind of know when you're on, whether you're producing or whether you're writing or whether you're hearing the music, there's a certain feeling you get. Can you describe that feeling as a writer, like when you know you're on the right track versus being stuck?
Flow. If there's a flow, then it is. If I'm stopping and starting and jank, if I'm lawnmowing that mother, if I'm go out, do something else, go meditate, go get something to eat, call your mom or something, whatever. But the flow, that's all I know.
Okay. Okay. Now, what's next for y'all? Are we gonna see more music this year, or can we expect stuff in 24? How can people stay in touch and stay up to date with what you have going on?
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, you can most definitely expect some new stuff.
Okay.
We'll, back to you on that, but because I'm gonna see him soon. He don't know it, but I'm gonna see him soon. And well, now you do. But yeah, we're gonna work on some new stuff. But you can follow me at DJ Scaife, and then from there you'll be able to see what Junior Scaife is doing, and then DJing the Yams as well. But if you're in Brooklyn, I do announce a show on December 21st. I will be at Bar Lunatico, December 21st, yes, at 8 p.m. So that's the next show that I have coming up. Yeah.
And Anthony, how about for you?
Yeah, man, I got tons of stuff coming. Obviously, I want to make more stuff with DJ here. Like, that's a priority of mine for sure. And we have a lot of we actually have a lot of songs in the bank already, and we have some stuff just to finish up, and just gotta get the logistics going.
We just gotta
But
pieces.
yeah, exactly. There you go. A little teaser of one that we got.
Okay.
I recorded more songs with the Charities. They got some singles coming out soon.
Yeah.
I actually have a record of my own coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's on Wick Records, which is is also part of Daptone. Yeah. It's the like rock and roll label.
Great.
I've got a couple records coming out on Wick. I've got, I'm working with Gabe on many more records. We got hopefully Sacred Souls are getting back in here soon. Some James Hunter. We're working with the Altons a lot recently.
Okay.
So there's tons of stuff coming.
That's
one
thing, and I want to interrupt him to go back to what I was going to say about him earlier. Seeing this man cut tape and work on an 8-track machine, that's like that. First of all, I've never seen anyone actually do it. I've seen a lot of people, fumble with it. But that was a brilliant experience and learning experience. And also, it was like a portal for me to going back to 1967, at Motown or Skepta Records or something. Because, as you know, I'm old as hell. I got an 80-year-old man inside me somewhere. So that, me just emitting that, and then Anthony working that machine like crazy. He's a brilliant engineer, brilliant songwriter, wonderful producer, amazing and brilliant human being. So I just want to say that. And it's going to be some more great stuff out there, but this man can engineer and work an 8-track like nobody's business.
I'm really glad that you shared that, because that's exactly what you hear and feel when you listen to this record. And it's undeniable. I understand the Penrose sound. I've heard it, right? This one, if you didn't see the record and the label first, you might ask questions. Who is this? What year did it come out?
Right.
Penrose? No freaking way. Tell me the truth. So you also kind of talked about what he was doing with cut and tape. Now, by and large, a lot of us, we simply see, the pre-order, a label, a song title, and a name. Could I get you to elaborate on the cutting tape so that we can kind of, get a lens below the tip of the iceberg, if you will?
Sure. I mean, it was just, when you're working on 8 tracks and you're working strictly on tape, and you have a band in a room, and it's just a bunch of dudes or dudes and ladies making music together and playing together. Everyone's playing live and feeding off each other. Sometimes the best intro is from one take, but the best verse is from another take. And with me, it's like when I got the tools to be able to cut tape and splice tape together, I was just like, now there's just, I'm taking the best of everything. And on DJ's record, there wasn't that many splices, honestly. The band that we had was very tight, very good. Actually, Moment to Moment is actually take 1.
Yes.
Yeah, it was take. There was only 2 takes of that song done, and I think I just cut in the bridge from take 2, but the rest of it is take 1. It's the very first take the band did, and
right on.
When My Heart Beats. So there was a simple splice. It was like we used Gabe Roland of Los Yesterdays as a drummer, and he is a wild man. He
Yes.
never plays the same thing twice, and that's why I love him. He's a fantastic drummer.
Yes.
And you know, for When My Heart Beats, that intro, he never played that fill again. And I knew me and DJ both were like, when we heard that fill, we're like, that's the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so weird, and it's such a rolling fill that I was like, we need to splice that in. So other than that, though, the band was really great. I mean, DJ is the definitely like one of the best singers I've ever worked with. There wasn't much I had to do to this guy except put a microphone in front of him and get a strong level. So, that's about all there is. I mean, working on 8 tracks is fun. You have to commit, and you have to decide what you want in the song. You only have 8 tracks. It takes a lot of commitment, and I think that's the fun part about it.
Yeah.
Gotta pick your poison, man. 8 tracks, shoot. It's not like Fruity Loops.
No, man.
So you brought up something else that I want to kind of call out. You talked about Rolly. I love Rolly. I said he's one of the best on the scene for years, and I feel so spoiled because he's also the man that's playing the instrumentation behind Noriega Records.
Yeah.
Now, DJ, I believe it was the Penrose All-Stars, right? What did it feel like playing with, hearing a different band that's not like the Yams?
Oh, I mean, I played with many bands that's not like the Yams, but at first I was like, okay, wait a minute. Are we doing, am I here to, what are we doing with the sound? At first I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if I really want this drummer, or maybe if I want that, I want this. And then that's why it's important for, you're talking about singing about confidence, and sometimes confidence is cool, but you need to have, brevity, and also understand when you don't know what you're talking about, or, or what you come with may not be what we need right now. That after that conversation, then I realized that this collection of humans and musicians was perfect for this kind of this goal that we're reaching. So it was great. It was amazing to play with them, singing over them, singing live with them in the studio. That's something I haven't done in a while. Most of the recording I've done of the last 2 or 3 years was the band was already recorded before I came in. So being there, we're all live, hitting those things at one time, just created another kind of feel, something that I'm like, okay, this is what I want to be doing. So it was a learning curve for me, one that I wasn't expecting to have, but at that time, so it was great. The question was, how was it with another band? Fine, because I was with some badass musicians.
Very cool. So this was at Penrose Studios. Were y'all pulling out the fold-out couch on the second floor up above? Was this like a 48 hours, like record or die kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean,
it was already there.
Yeah, me and DJ stayed there for I think 6 days until the record was pretty much done. Yeah.
Yep.
And it was like one of the coldest winters California had experienced in like 30 years too, and there's not really heat, but it was humbling. It was very humbling.
Very humbling as shit.
Yeah.
Because my vocals are the vocals of someone experiencing a little bit of bronchitis and a sinus infection.
Oh my God.
It was perfect.
That's right. Thank whoever blessed us for that, and that whiskey. But I'm just saying, we made it through. Made it what it was supposed to be.
No, I wouldn't change a thing.
That's right. Me either, man.
I'm so glad we got to kind of circle back around that, because that was important to me. Who makes up the Penrose Scholars? And DJ, is that you with the background vocals, or was there anyone else who kind of leaning in to help out?
Okay, I'll tell you about the vocals. You can take the Scholars, Anthony, because I don't know. The background vocals, it was me and 4 other singers. So the first track on When My Heart Beats, that's me and 2 other. Wait, tell me their names. I forgot their names. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all good. It's all good. So on When My Heart Beats, we have so DJ is one of the voices, but there is David Paul, who also played guitar on both songs.
David Paul band. David Paul is huge.
Yeah. So David
both
Paul,
songs.
and we had Clarence Matheny.
Oh my my God.
Yeah, from Los Yesterdays, and he did stuff with Brenton Wood back in the day.
Clarence's, yes.
So they handled the backgrounds on the first track, and on the second track it was DJ and David Paul's brother, and
Who plays the organ? Who plays the organ on the beginning of?
I heard stories about the Paul brothers.
Yeah,
they're
the Paul
good.
brothers are ridiculous, man. They're amazing, and they're big tools of mine. I use them for almost every record I make.
Yeah, they're amazing. And Miriam.
This is wild to me because I know these names. I've seen these people. I've shaken their hands. Like, these are like major artists, right? And it reminds me of the Napoleon Demps 45 that came out on Daptone. Napoleon recorded Bones with Gabe, but there was like an all-star cast.
Yeah, like the Altons were on that record, I think.
Huge. Noriega was there. I mean, there was a variety of Daptone Penrose artists that contributed to that one song.
Yeah. And and I feel blessed to have been able to call these people to come play on mine and DJ's record.
Yeah.
So, so that being said, yeah, our friend Miriam, who introduced us, actually, she sang backup too on Moment to Moment.
Okay.
Which was a really cool, like, full circle moment,
Right, moment.
Yeah. And then as far as the scholars go, we had Gabe Rowland on drums.
Yeah.
We had the one and only Gabe Roth playing bass, and and David Paul and Mikey Rodriguez.
Wow. Big ass record. Damn. All right. I have one last question. I ask all my guests this, and I'm super, super interested to know what DJ is going to say. Is there a quote or a mantra that you live by that you keep close to heart? Maybe it's something new that you just kind of been saying to yourself. I would love it if you could share that with us.
Mine that my grandmother actually said on the phone recently. She says a lot of things, but honey, if you don't go, you won't know. Ooh. That's been with me. She said it was maybe black.
That's cold.
That one.
That's cold. Anthony, what about you?
Man, a lot of times, I think of something my dad he just always says about everything, and sometimes when you're making a record or just anything, like, it feels super hard, and my dad always used to say, well, if it was easy, anybody would be doing it. So that one always comes back to me.
DJ, I might have to steal that. I might need to interview your grandma.
Yeah.
You should.
We got to do a part 2.
Yeah.
When the next record drops, I don't know. Maybe we can, give a quick tutorial on how she go. You got to create the account for her, the Instagram account.
She'll be down.
Yeah. That's amazing. Fellas, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really glad that we got to talk about this so close to the release. Anthony, I'm just over the moon about the work that you're doing on the scene. Since I kind of discovered your sound, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
And to me, you are one of the most exciting, producers on the indie soul scene. I can't wait for the world to hear that Charities record and be able to put it on the table. But I'm so excited for what's next from you because your style is unique and it's authentic. And I believe that when I listen to what you're doing, it's very intentional. So I thank you so much for choosing this path in life because I just think you're a special human being and it's great to have you part of the scene. DJ, I want more, man. I want more.
Thank you. You got it, man.
Any last minute words before we take off?
Yeah, but actually before I go, I just want to give a quick glimpse of this beautiful store here.
Yeah.
The Record Room.
Where's the audience? Where's the audience?
The store's actually closed today.
I'm joking. I'm kidding.
But I'll tell you this. Anyone out there that's in California or the Inland Empire, come and get this exclusive Junior Scaife record. Only sold at this store. Exclusive Penrose Record Room red vinyl. You got to come get it. It's only here.
Ooh.
And other than that, I just want to say thank you to both of you. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. I was happy to be on this. Waxvillain, I'm also a longtime fan. I was watching your interviews with people for a while.
Thank you much.
DJ, man, much love to you, man. I can't wait for the next record we make.
That's right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Love both of y'all.
Shout out to everybody on the line. And tomorrow night, we're going to run it back. Matt Beld, Gabe Roth, a.k.a. Bosco Man, 6 p.m. PST. Waxvillain. Don't miss it out. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
The stream will be available afterwards. Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. We're out of here.
Great. Peace.